Bob Stauffer said yesterday that the Oilers might move on from Matthias Janmark. I said right before the show the Oilers should move on from Matthias Janmark for one reason, and it's not because he's bad, it's because he makes $1.4 million. And now that you have Curtis Lazar and Noah Philp, even Kapanen's making less money than him, Damas Tomsek, like, Matthias Janmark could be someone who's extendable. He has a role. Warren Fogle in the chat says, what, that would be so dumb. QF Pro says that would be interesting. What would you consider moving on from Janmark? And also, too, this isn't necessarily about creating money to bring in another player right now. The Oilers obviously want to accrue quite a bit of cap throughout the season. And a $1.4 million player in your fourth line that can kill penalties, there's no denying he's a decent penalty killer, might be a bit more of a luxury than they want to spend on.
Yeah, it might be. You might not really want to be the Oilers spending, because given how close they are to the cap and how close they, even when you look at their salary cap picture next year, assuming Connor McDavid signs the new contract and gets a raise on his current cap hit, which I think we all think is going to happen, then again, it becomes a lot tighter, and paying guys like this, a Janmark who isn't getting any younger, of course, is 32 years old, and then as we know, when you're 32 years old, then you're pretty over the hill then. So
yes, you are.
For guys like Janmark, you sort of wonder when they come into training camp this year, do you have a guaranteed roster spot on this team? This isn't a contract that Stan Bowman signed, so this could potentially be a guy who goes onto waivers at the beginning of October, and the Oilers try to see, look, is anybody interested in grabbing this guy and just taking the full cap hit? But the thing that I don't really see for the Oilers in the American Hockey League is a handful of good, defensive two-way checkers that can kill penalties and come up and do that on league minimum salaries. I don't think they really have a whole bunch of guys in the Bakersfield Condors who make it easy to shove a Matthias Janmark out the window. That's why maybe this is a player they look to move on from mid-season. I don't really see it happening in the offseason before the year starts, unless it's a deal where it's more of a hockey trade, money coming in, money coming out, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's actually quite a lot of players still available on free agency, I would say, in comparison to like previous years. If the Oilers wanted to go out and find another $775,000 player, then I think it's out there for them to go and do. Well, hey, like, I know it was more the Ken Holland era than the Stan Bowman era, but like, they're not afraid to throw out PTO, so like, maybe we could see something like that happen. Kevin McCurdy's actually in the chat and said that, funny comment to start, even I don't always agree, but $1.45 million for a fourth line player is an overpay and not efficient. We will definitely agree on that, Kevin. I've been saying this for quite a while, and Rick always yells at me. The other one, what was in there? Sorry, I think it was Kyle says, does he have a no trade clause? He has a 10-team no trade list. So quite a lot. That's how he has one is beyond me.
It's shocking, these negotiations. You're giving Matthias Janmark 3 years, and it still winds up being over the $1 million or $1.15 million threshold to send a guy down to the AHL and have their contract be buried. And he winds with a 10-team no trade. It's shocking, because it's like, I understand he had a good playoff run last year, but were you really negotiating against that many teams that were willing to sign something like this last summer too, before the cap went up?
You look back at that last summer in comparison to this one, and you would have hoped that the Oilers were very ruthless this year, in the sense of like, sorry, Corey Perry, we're not paying you an extra $2 million
new
in bonuses.
GM. They're not as players anymore. So.
Yeah, like Connor Brown, like, thank you so much for taking your discount last season after a miserable year before that, where you scored 4 goals. It took you till game 60, whatever, to get one. But no, sorry, we're not paying you a 4-year deal for $3 million.
Yeah.
And I actually really like that approach, and now I'm curious, like, as Stan Bowman kind of continues to put his imprint on this team, like, what his next move is going to be. There's still a lot of question marks on the Oilers, but that kind of...
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.